Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalam ala rasulihil kareem. Amma ba'd. Fassalamullahi ala al-qawm. Ahlan wa sahlan bikum. Welcome to this video. We're trying something new about how to pray Salatul Eid according to the School of Madinah, aka the Maliki Madhab. I am Mostakim Habib al-Maliki, and full disclosure, I am not a scholar. My intention was to help people who would like to learn more about the Maliki Madhab, and especially learn how to perform this great Sunnah Salah in our Madhab, which is Salatul Eid. Now that it's practically in front of us, whether you're going to be reading Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Adha in the upcoming months, we hope that this video will be very beneficial to you. It's been checked by my Ustad, Sidi, Iqbal, and I hope that it's really beneficial to everyone who's going to watch it. And if you did think it was beneficial, do share it to the relevant people. That's more important than subscribing or anything to me. And more importantly, do make dua for our success in this dunya and the next. So it's important to always be reminded of such things, because unlike the other prayers in the day, we do not pray Salatul Eid on a daily basis. It comes practically twice a year, which is why it's understandable why the vast majority of us will not know, or will not remember rather, how to perform it when the time is ripe. So just to have a brief explanation before we go into the video demonstration, the Maliki way of praying Salatul Eid, in the first rakat, it will be with 7 takbeers. That is inclusive of Takbeer Tahrima, which is the opening takbeer. And after that, we will read Surah Al-Fatiha, followed by a surah. The second rakat will have 6 takbeers, and that is inclusive of the takbeer which you use to ascend or arise from the sajda. And after that, you will count another 5 takbeers, after which you will go on to your Fatiha and your short surah and proceed with your Salah as usual. Salatul Eid is a sunnah and not a fard. This means that it is permissible for one to pray with Qabd, which is to fold your hands, whether it be in the style of the Hanafis or the style of the Shafis. Whichever way is absolutely fine. Personally, I'm going to stick to the mashhur opinion, which is Sadl, and for the purposes of this video, and you'll see exactly why, and for illustrative purposes, I am not going to be praying with folding my hands. But just to put it out there, even if you are someone who follows the opinion that in Farad Salah, we do not fold our hands and do Qabd, in Eid Salah, it is perfectly permissible and fine for you to do so. So before we start, just a heads up, in the Maliki Madhab, we only raise our hands for Takbeer Tahrima, that's the opening takbeer. The other takbeers, although we recite them, and recite them loud, we'll come to this as well, we do not raise our hands for those, even if our Imam is doing that. So let's go into a practical demonstration on how to read Salatul Eid in the Maliki Madhab. Allahu Akbar. 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 Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmani Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqima sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin Wal 'asr innal insana lafi khusr إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر الله أكبر 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 الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الله أكبر. So as you noticed, I was reading audibly. That's not just for the purposes of this video. If we are reading Salatul Eid individually, which is permissible by the way, if you miss the Jamaat, you can read Salatul Eid individually in our Madhab. Or if you are the Imam of a Maliki congregation, whatever it is, Salatul Eid must be read audibly. However, if you are following an Imam from a different Madhab, the Hanafi Madhab for example, then you just need to make sure that you are audible but not so loud that you're disturbing the congregation. Just be about as audible so the next person can hear that something is coming out of your voice and you are saying something. But over and above that, try not to disturb the congregation. And speaking of Hanafis, they have a very different way of praying Salatul Eid as opposed to the Shafis and the Hanbalis. So when it comes to reading behind them, what you need to make sure as a Maliki is that you hit your cap of the 7 takbeers in the first rakat. And in the second rakat, as you noticed, before I did my Fatiha and the second surah, I did the takbeers first. The Hanafis don't do that. The Hanafis read their surah and their Fatiha before their takbeers. So what you as a Maliki need to do is that you finish your takbeers as soon as you get up from the second rakat, and then you may stay silent and follow the Hanafi Imam for the rest of the Salah as it goes on. Let us give you a demonstration to show you exactly what we mean.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim, siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim, ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim, siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim, ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Qul huwa Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
We hope those practical demonstrations were beneficial for you. If you found any minute faults, please overlook them and forgive us for them. But I hope that the essence and the core of the message got through, which is how to perform Salah as a Maliki, whether you're reading individually or whether you're following an Imam from the Hanafi Madhab. As for following a Shafi or Hanbali Imam, their takbeers are the same, but just keep this in mind that you will only raise your hands for the first takbeer, that's Takbeerat, which is like every other Salah. When you enter into the Salah, Allahu Akbar, that's the only takbeer that you will raise your hands for. You do not have to raise your hands for the other takbeerat. And as for the counting, I was actually counting on my fingers. According to my teacher Sidi Iqbal, this is permissible. It may not have been captured on the camera and since my hand was to the side, but you can just do that in case you feel that you'll get confused. But forgetfulness happens if you come to that stage where you're not sure. Did you make 3? Did you make 4? Assume that you did 3 and then carry on counting from there. You do not have to make such tasawwur if you mess up the counting, but the finger counting method does help, bi'idhnillah. And as for the latecomer, so if you join the first rakat and you can see that the Imam has started his Fatiha, for example, then as a Maliki, you must make sure that you get your 7 takbeers in. So try your best that you get your 7 takbeers in before it's time for him to go to ruku. What if you join in the second rakat? Well, same thing. Make sure you get your 6 takbeers in. So at the beginning of the second rakat, obviously the Hanafis will begin with their Surah Al-Fatiha and their second surah before they move on to their takbeers. You do your 6 takbeers and follow the Imam. Instead of turning the salam with him because you missed 1 rakat, you will have to rise and then do this first rakat which you missed with the 7 takbeers. I hope that is crystal clear. The same will go if you came during tashahud, for example, the final tashahud, or during one of the final sajdas. Because you have missed, in essence, both the rakat, you will have to rise up, perform the first rakat with the 7 takbeers and the second rakat with the 6 takbeers. Hope that is clear. Any questions? Leave them in the comments. We'll siphon them to Sidi Iqbal. But over and above that, we, alhamdulillah, are returning to some sense of normalcy. So have a great time with your loved ones. Eidun Sa'id, Eid Mubarak, Salamat Hari Raya. Make dua for us, the scholar and the student, my teacher Sidi Iqbal in particular, and the Ummah at large. May Allah elevate us in every single aspect in relation to this world, but more importantly to the hereafter. Ameen thumma ameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.